Okay. And I pull this up. Looks like we are good. Okay. We are good. So now we just wait. Now we just wait for people to show up. So slowly but surely, step by step. Can you post on? It's already we had the thing on Facebook, but can you yeah, can you slap Facebook too? Appreciate it. Okay. Here we go. Yes, 6 years published this month. 12 days ago. 6 years and 12 days. So, how do you change your name in this app? I'm sure somebody here, DJ of the Hudson, will be able to explain that to you. Me being the not knowledgeable Twitch person won't be able to help you a lot. So we're gonna give people a couple of minutes, let people trickle in, and then we will get started with the full on ramble. Ah, it's all good, Ralph. It was only a 1 star Pokemon. Just didn't have it yet, so I was like, I'm gonna rate it and get it. So for those who are paying attention and were here last time, you can notice the fact that uh, Garfield. So that is. mm, the pop up of people joining is behind that. So let me see. Can I change that while doing stuff? Looks like it. Let's find out. It's gonna. Whoop, no. We're gonna go ahead and drop it down. So save. Yay! There we go. So now when new people show up, they'll pop up in the upper left. People were asking for the what is being published next, basically from like the FAQ and stuff being displayed. So there we go, guys. We have we have included it for you. So now that we have started, we are over 20 people. We will go ahead and do the normal roundup of what is coming up, and everything that you probably are looking to know. You have to do certain stuff to monetize Discord. I have no idea. Yeah, unless you're talking about monetizing Twitch, in which case, yeah. But I don't. I only use this for the once a month with you guys. I'm not looking to make money off of it. So, what is going on in world of books for me? Binding Words 9, released not even a month ago. Not even one, two, not quite 3 weeks ago, in fact. Binding Words is Binding Words. Good, solid uh, sail through and read on it. So I appreciate all of you staying with us for the world of Sean. Um, as you can tell, there is movement, and we're probably gonna start seeing some really fun things in the near future there. Um, but yeah, Binding Words 9 is out in ebook format, and that is something we should all be looking forward to. Is the next book coming up? Pardon me, my throat apparently is going out. The next book to get published is going to be, as you can see there, AR 6th, currently slated for December 17th. I will say that the book should encompass. Let's say encompass. Um, Gregory's initiate year, his training with his troops before he goes off to his adept posting. The book should fully realize that entire year. So there is that to look forward to. It is going to be a little different for a lot of people because he is not constantly next to the women he loves. That was known going into it when they were going into this year that there was going to be some separation. They do get to see each other occasionally, but it's not often, and it's not for long. So it is. It's different. It's a very different book from that standpoint. Hopefully, you guys still enjoy the series as we go forward with it. Following AR6, you probably can see there the AL1 February 17th, and you're probably going, what the hell is an AL1? Um, AL are the initials for my sci-fi series. I am slotting in the first book before I go do the fourth book of Dungeon Walkers and soft closeout Dungeon Walkers, because I would like to see where you guys stand on the sci-fi series um, going forward, so I know whether or not it's going to Resurrection Quest on me, or if it's going to be, Aethers or Binding Words, if it's going to have longevity to it or not. So I'm slotting in that first book there, and then we will go to Dungeon Walkers. Then we will go back to Lux Voice, then to Binding Words, then to AR, and then we will complete the cycle going around with Dungeon Walkers being dropped out after book 4. The name of the series is Antecedents Legacy. For those people who are wondering, it basically is another form of ancestor, those who came before. So there's history there. There's a lot to look forward to. It's sci fantasy, I guess, because it's more of a blend of sci-fi and fantasy. So I guess you can call it sci fantasy. Um, of course, the chapters for that will be going up on Patreon after AR6 publishes, because Patreon currently has chapters of AR6. Audio wise, so you were all on the same thing. You'll all see the TBA there. Andy is finishing up Tower of Somnus 3, I believe, this coming week. From basically from when she finishes Tower of Somnus 3 going into the end of the year, she is going to be just rampaging through my books. So, and it's in that order. She's going to hit Binding Words 8, AR5, Lux Voice 5, Binding Words 9, and by the time she gets there, AR6. She should catch up to everything published by the end of the year. So, for those people who have been waiting for audio, it looks like she is going to steamroll through from the end of October, all of November, and basically most of December. Because I mean, she's going to take holidays off. We can't really blame her, guys. If you're going to blame her, then stop. She's going to take Christmas off, and I don't blame her in the least. But basically, throughout the end of the year, she is going to catch up on everything that I've done. That is the goal. It looks good. We're both very, very happy. Looking forward to. Words are hard, and my brain is kind of shot today. So I do apologize for my word choices being even worse than normal. We're both very optimistic. That was the word I was looking for. That everything will be done by the end of the year. That you guys will be all caught up and ready to go as we fold into 23. So that catches us up on that. Before I get in on questions and stuff, because I'm letting you guys just run off ahead of me to make it easier for me. Those people who have been paying attention to Facebook and Discord and stuff, I did take one of my girlfriends off to Disney. She had never been. We spent most of a week down in Anaheim, California. California not being my favorite state, but we were still there. Disney is exactly as I remember. It is overly crowded with very small children who will never remember the fact their parents took them to Disneyland. If parents did not take children under the age of, we'll be nice and say 7, where, people might actually start remembering things with any kind of clarity, um, there would have been probably about a third less people at the parks, and that would have that would have been nice, honestly. They do have quote unquote cap limits on people attending, but it was still jam packed full of people. 2 hour lines for most rides, almost the entire day. Lightning lane passes were nice, but you can only book one of them at a time. And even by like 9 o'clock, some of the lightning lanes that you could pick up were for 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you can't schedule multiples of them. So it got really difficult to hit like all the rides we would like to have hit. We got through most of them, um, through through happenstance and bad timing at times. Apparently, the Disney employees, when something goes really wrong, can give you what is called like an instant lightning pass. So you don't have to schedule it. You just walk up to any ride that's got a lightning lane and just scan in and go. And we had a couple of those bad moments where Disney felt the need to make it up to us. So we were able to skip to the lightning lanes on some of the more backed up rides, like the Haunted Mansion and stuff. So we did get through the majority of the rides we wanted to get through at least once. In some cases, we got through them twice. Um, let's say the only ride we wanted to get to and didn't get to because there was no actual lightning lane for it was Rise of the Resistance, one of the Star Wars ones, because that wasn't in their normal lightning lane setup. That was you had to pay an additional fee on top of it to get a lightning lane pass. And when I was like, maybe I'll do this, and I looked into it, their thing was actually shut down, so it actually wouldn't accept payment. So we actually that was the one ride we didn't get to go on. Sad, but it happens. Okay, there are 46 of people here. Wow. So good time. I mean, it's late on the East Coast. It's evening on the West Coast, and it's stupid o'clock in the morning across the pond. So let's see what you all got up to while I rambled for a little bit there. Happy 6 years. Yep, six. It is 6 years and like 12 days as of today that I have been a published author. So that is nice. It's all because of you guys. That's why I do these to thank you guys for all that kind of thing. Oh, she took the batteries out of them. So we will go ahead and I will catch up to them when I get down there. The girlfriend got a lot of merch. Me myself, I am not a merchy person. I do have one item that is still in its case that I have not unpacked, and that's because I don't have a proper place to display it. So I don't have a whole lot of merch to show to you guys. I did pick up early Christmas gifts and stuff for friends and family, for those who I knew would love them, like the remote control R2 unit, which went to my sister, who is a huge R2D2 fan. She apparently went home and played with it right away, so that was amazing. Um, and then one of my good friends who games with us got a dark saber because he has a Mandalorian fetish, as I call it. So, uh, okay, that was asking that. Live chat, yes. Do you have to do certain stuff to monetize Discord to be able to? Okay. Uh, yeah, one of my friends decided to get us larger methed out. It was Holly. It was Holly and her boyfriend. It was so we have Garfield, the methed out Garfield, and then we have Jumbo methed out Garfield now as well. So now they're both there to give us the double curse of meth cats because people wanted to double the curse. So yeah. Yeah, mom stopped by and saw it. She's the one who texted me and let me know my sister was playing with the R2 unit, which is good. I mean, I figured she would get around to it. I didn't know she was gonna literally rush home and break it out of the box, but apparently she did. Uh, Discord allows you to subscribe to a channel. That's weird. I didn't know Discord did that. Twitch or Discord? Oh, both of them. Weird. Huh. Weird. I mean, I'd have to really stretch things to even attempt that, and my editor has put her foot down on that. So, uh, oh, there are fireworks going off outside. No, of course, because people. We have a fireworks shooter site in this town. In this town, it is open um, 7 weekends out of the year. Basically, your holiday weekends, you'd expect fireworks, or think that fireworks might go off, and yet people still come all the way out by my house to the state line of California, Nevada, where there is nothing because it is just a dry lake bed, and they set off fireworks there. People, I'm keeping a credit in reserve so as soon as the next audio comes out. Yeah, well, there's a good thing they normally do like the Black Friday sales and the Christmas sales on credits because I'm gonna have like 5 books come out basically in the next couple of months. So it's gonna be a thing. You guys are gonna get just swamped with audio. So there is that. Nah, yeah, go ahead and prime up on people that will actually like show up more often than once a month. That would be my suggestion. Nah, Xerox, I don't need to get paid from Twitch. It means I'd have to do more on here, and really once a month is good enough for me. Books I wrote but shelved had the first two girls. Yeah, and it can work, JC. I'm sorry, JC McKnight, J McKnight. I just butchered the M right out of your name. I apologize. It can work. And the setup has to be right though, like in most things. So, do you think Sham will be able to make the Queen's allies while accomplishing his goals? I mean, I don't know, Shadow. I haven't written it yet, so I can't say. Until I write it, it's open for fan interpretation. Did Garfield's crackhead cousin multiply? Yes, 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 he did. Finally managed to catch up to you again. Lately, yeah, I have been a while busy with other things. No problem, Chopper. I'm glad you made it here. No struggles. It's fine. I mean, she normally records one of my books in like a week and a half. I mean, you're talking basically what 9 weeks, 8 9 weeks of give time for 5 books. We we're fairly confident in it. So my Gab, I'm sad. Dungeon Walkers is gonna be set down too, but I still have to pay bills and editors and artists and mortgages and stuff. So it'll get a soft ending, very much like Apocalypse Gate's got a soft ending. And in 5 10 years, when I don't have to worry about mortgages and stuff, and money is a little nicer all the way around, maybe I can go back to something. I'm not saying no, I can't. I'm just saying things have to work out. Uh, Gonna miss Dungeon Walkers. I don't get the disconnect, but clearly there's one. Just it's all down to money, Mike. So as with most things that are job related. So it is what it is. I mean, I would still like to be writing Resurrection Quest myself, but yeah, no, I'm not cutting that foot off. Yeah, yeah, you might remember taking them as parents, but the line normally given is we're making memories. You're not making memories for the children. The children don't remember. You're doing something for you, not your children. At least be honest about it at that point. I know it's my dad. Yeah, it's my dad. He's Baruch, Baruch, Madman Baruch. He's got something in the back of his throat. He'll be fine. Lots of 3-year-olds having meltdowns while we're there. Oh yeah, lots of screaming children, unhappy screaming children. Lots of parents trying to bribe their children to get them to stop being screaming meltdown children, and that didn't work most of the time. Part of going to family service, they may not remember consciously, but you remember. See, if you remember going when you were like 5, that's amazing. Most people don't remember back that long ago. Most people don't can't judge up memories from when they were 5. One question I have when you get to them, do you think that you will do an MC that isn't human or human passing? I think an animal person MC or something similar would be interesting. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not going to do it. Um, Time, place, book all has chances of doing things, but it's not something I'm going to. Oh, the girlfriend built herself a lightsaber. So hang on, I have to wait for the video. So it's your standard. I'm going to cut myself and my faux lightsaber. So and she did make sure they built so they could actually pull apart. So she has either two one-handers or a double, depending on whether or not she has them connected. She is very happy with her murder machine. So I'm not saying I'm not going to write somebody who's not human as an MC. Um, Takes the book though for that to happen. It takes the right story. I don't normally go. I'm totally going to make sure that I write a story with a troll, for instance. I don't do that. If that's what happens, it happens. Um, it would probably end up being still a human stuck in that body though. Um, because if you're going to have a main character who is non-human completely, you're going to have to make sure that they think correctly the entire time because they wouldn't have the same thought processes, guys. So, I mean, so not ruling it out, but not something I'm like gunning for either. Too long, Xerox. I stayed in California too long. Any time in California is staying in California too long. I have a question. I'm listening to AG, and in book 4, Alvin makes a playlist for burning the forest down. He didn't add burning down the house by Talking Heads. No, I just picked some songs and put them together steaming. I wasn't like, going to go out of my way to find every like burning song and like mention all of them. It's just I was like, okay, these are songs I could think of off the top of my head while writing the scene. I will mention them. That was all. And see, that's totally fine. Struggles. Never having the desire to go to Disney means you never have to go to Disney. Uh, I remember reading a harem romance where the female love interest hadn't been to Disney Place in Florida. So he took her, and late at night, at the end of one of the rides or trams, they had risky sex. Then felt like all Disney mascots were judging them. I mean, people, if you're going to engage in those kinds of things, you're probably going to have that people are judging me afterwards, unless, you just don't care at all. So, look at that. We, we have a cosplayer here. And I would butcher that name. Akana? Just call her Akana? Akana. Uh, so I answered that. The girlfriend built herself lightsabers out of the plastic lightsabers. I showed them off. Disney World beats Disneyland, but both are overpriced. Yeah, the difference being is Disneyland is one state over. Disney World is half a country over. So, I mean, which is about half. She prefers Kiffy. Okay. Uh, hope you had a fantastic time. I answered the lightsaber question. Uh, Given the large size of the families in Binding Words and Aethers, will the family in AL be kept more in line like Elfworld? I don't know, Angry. We will find out as the story gets written. I didn't intend for Binding Words to do what it did. Sean did that. Fucker. That's the great thing about me writing stories is I don't plan these things. My people do this, and I just tell you what they've done. So, what will happen there? I don't know. We will find out together. Well, actually, I will find out, and then you will find out, but roughly we'll find out together. I have no idea, Gabe. I mean, I've heard a couple things. For some, it's the lack of sex. For others, it's the lack of a main bad guy. So it's across the board. There's no one thing I can point to and be like, this is what I have to avoid writing going forward. So R2D2 was the most foul-mouthed character in Star Wars. They had to beep out everything he said. There were chirps and twirls in there as well. No, DJ, I haven't. We haven't done BattleTech in a while. Couple of the guys, longtime like friends slash near brothers, had one of their major meltdowns with each other. So it's been a bit since BattleTech has happened. I'm not sure if or when BattleTech will pick back up again, but yeah, I wouldn't expect it anytime soon. Last time I went to an amusement park, I got a piece of merch and broke it the same day. I mean, yeah, it happens. We basically bought the merch and took them back to the room and dropped them off to make sure things didn't get broken. So, Sammy is mentioning Anakin becoming Darth Vader count as a major spoiler? No, it doesn't, McKnight, because it's not my worlds. I don't care. I don't care about spoilers for other people's universes. Well, if it gets heated, then that's a different thing. He's talking about just the spoiler part of it. Uh, Theme parks are not our thing. Concerts are what we enjoy. That's totally fine, Struggles. I mean, you all have to find what it is. I myself am not a fan of waiting in lines places. So me and theme parks normally don't get along either, so I understand. No, it wasn't life sized. It was what, like maybe a foot tall? But she apparently is enjoying the hell out of it, so I'm glad I got it for her. She got her birthday present 8 months early because I am crap at holding on to gifts for people. Uh, have you thought about getting other Garfields that are hooked on different drugs? Maybe like an LSD Garfield. We haven't found them. All we've seen are meth cats. So I wouldn't be surprised if my girlfriends find one and pick one up, though. You want an even larger meth cat? The curse of the Garfield continues. Is Dungeon Walkers going to continue? I want to find out what his last other summons. Um, Cheddar, the three summons have been described and their abilities have been talked about. So, um, the third summon gets mentioned in book 3, and its abilities get talked about when he picks it up, or like a chapter after that when they discuss it. So, seeing it in action will be different, but it was summoned and given abilities. He can't have all three of them out currently though. So, does the rug do okay with fireworks? No, not really. He'll stay inside and lick his vents. He's a vent licker. We have floor vents, so he licks his vents. With binding words, do you think Sean will bring schooling in or something that'll help make them smarter? Um, Probably not. I mean, that doesn't really go with what Sean is doing at the moment. Um, Doc doing that in Luck's voice, yeah, that would make way more sense. Sean, though, at the moment is all about trying to deal with one specific noble. Um, so I don't see him suddenly pivoting and going, I want to do something about schooling. Would he in 10, 20 years if things were all calm and he had time to sit down and not have to worry about people wanting to kill him in some way, shape, or form? Maybe. My cat Thistle loves fireworks. We'll sit in the window watching them and start yelling when they stop. Is she yelling that they stopped or yelling "Good, stay off my lawn"? I'm just want to point that out there. Um, I just buy more credits if I need to, and that's the thing, Blitz. That's probably what a lot of people are going to end up doing, honestly, because there's got to be books coming out like probably every 2, 3 weeks there for a bit as we turn them over as we turn them over to ACX, who gives them the Audible. So and Andy's Discord. Thank you, Sammy. Audible will not let me buy and hold credits. I am on a very old account type. Predates Amazon ownership. I get 2 books a month plus 3 newspapers for $15. They keep making offers to change it. I'm sure they do. In that case, it'll take you a little bit longer to get caught up on all the audiobooks, DJ. I've kind of answered that question, Xerox. There's not one thing I can point to for Dungeon Walkers doing as badly as it has. I meant the disconnect between your audience and the books. I really love the characters and the world building. Love the different take on Dungeon Core World. Not your, not your decision. Obviously, got to do what you got to do. Um, I don't know. I don't know, Mike. If I mean, like I said, if I knew, then it would be something I could address. But I have no idea. If I knew exactly what would sell all the time, and it was something that I would willingly write, and not just flavor of the month like other people, I would probably look at it more. But I have no idea why Binding Words does so much better than Dungeon Walkers, or why Aethers blows everything else out of the water. So, I don't know. What is the average pay for editors or covers per book? That's not something I normally talk about, McKnight. I don't talk salaries because that's just rude to the people I pay. Up, oh, there was a puppy briefly. There's a little blue tail left. Will you be writing something that will be titled Delta World and bring in more Alpha Company characters, old and new? Nah, very unlikely, Mom. Delta World is Dungeon Walkers. So, him a sassy boy. You remember things from when you were two. Well, you're Serenia. You're the archivist. You probably remember things from when you were still in the womb. Let's be honest. They're just a little murky. Yeah, when you were 8, Chopper. Not when you were 5. Definitely not when you were 3. Of course, not all of us could be Serenia. Uh, put those lightsabers together and they would reach across the room. I mean, yeah, if you didn't mind the flex at the end of the blade when you tried to use it to hit something across the room. It's about 7 feet when it's fully extended, tip to tip. That makes sense. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. You scared the hoose. Uh, uh, put a pool noodle on the lightsaber so she can reach across the room. Uh, I don't think they have a connector to put 4 of them together, Gabe. I think you'd have to build that yourself, honestly. They had the connector for doing the double, but that's it. It was okay. Uh, the community day was okay. I mean, knocked out all the quests in an hour. I have shinies to trade with the girlfriends now, so we can get 3 stars. But just a regular community day. Kiffy. Uh, considering traffic, it might be easier to fly to Florida than to go to Disney World. Yeah, but then you still have to get to the airport, fly, get out of the other airport, get a cab or Uber over to Disney World. It would still take time and effort is the thing. So I think it would probably still be quicker to just drive to Disneyland than it would be to fly to Disney World. Kitty. Uh, are you releasing a new book in February? Yes. Antecedents Legacy. That'll be my sci fantasy book. Uh, well, you're gonna only. You can only fit so many people on a ship unless it's a TARDIS. No, just put a police box on the ship, and there you go. I have been continuously surprised by my characters, and I've only had to nuke a story once. Fuck you, Alvin, for trying to be a paladin. What author got you into science fiction fantasy? I've been reading books since I was like, frick, what, 8? So yeah, books that I can remember reading early that I enjoyed. Selazny's Amber Chronicles. Um, Hang on, I'm drawing a blanks on things. Asimov's robotics, Law of Robotics series with Daniel, the robot that developed the conscience. Um, I mean, I've always enjoyed books. There's not any one thing that got me into this or that. Just I like books. You don't write books. You write after action reports. I mean, it's pretty much true, Dame. When you put it like that, I'm basically just the reporter of what happened for the characters, and I let you know what happened in their lives. I don't plot out and okay, this has to go here, this has to go there. All my books are written start to finish. I don't jump around from scene to scene like some authors can do. So it seems like after Apocalypse Gates 4, your books got much cleaner. Am I mistaken? Apocalypse Gates 4 probably had the most sexual content out of any of my books. It was still under 10% of the total book, but it was significantly higher in sexual content. It's also where Apocalypse Gates really started dropping off in sales. And then from 4, 5, 6, and 7, things were going bad, bad, and worse. So I have found something I am comfortable with, and that's the formula I will be using moving forward. Irby spam. I mean, it takes a company of Irbies to actually do anything against even one one squad of decent mecha. So I had one place I went to where I had to wait in line for an hour before I had to go to the event. Hard waiting that long. Yeah, I don't blame you, Darth. It's not something of like I'm going to do every year or anything. So there was uh sorry for coming in late. What does AL stand for? I figure it's the new series you've talked about. Antecedents Legacy, Paul. It is my science fiction fantasy series. I can honestly say that I have read and enjoyed every one of your books and series. I am sad every time a series ends. So my struggles. I mean, from the series I've had definitive endings that I was very glad to get to, like Alpha World. These are the endpoints I was really looking at hitting, and then I've had series where I've had to end them because things didn't work out. Notably, Resurrection Quest. So you're a celebrity. No, I'm not a celebrity, Xerox. It's nice that you think I am, but I am not. Nobody in their right mind, as far as I know, like standing in the line, Gab. Do I post too many non-book related posts on Facebook? I've been fine, David. If it became a problem, I would message you and talk to you about it. So at the moment, I think you're fine. Is the fantasy in AL going to be like midichlorians in Star Wars, or just regular magics or psionics? Actually, none. I don't. I don't really have magic in the series. I do have nanotech and artificial intelligences, which I mean is magic. But I don't have like people throwing fireballs and stuff. So there is the one race that can make illusions because I mean based on their race. There are different races in the series. There's there's a vampire. I could say there's an elf. There's a slime. There's a Rakshasa, or however you say that, tiger demon. Um, there's a creatures of myth in it, which is why I can get away with saying it's fantasy, because there are fantasy elements, but not magic I can think of. In Dungeon Walkers 3, Alpha Company said they would be moving to a new world. Will we get to go on that journey with them? Yeah, probably not. The main characters of Alpha World had their story. I am letting them have a nice peaceful retirement, because you have to understand main characters normally don't get peaceful lives, guys. They get things going wrong that they have to deal with. So I'm perfectly happy with letting Albert and his wives, or Seamus and his wives, depending on how you want to look at the main character, basically have as much peace as they can possibly have. It was mentioned because that's something that the characters themselves would be looking at. It makes sense for why they are pushing to go through the dungeons to get to the end, to find every dungeon to get to the goddess's promise. Makes sense for them to be doing that if that's the reason why. Um, but no, I don't intend to bring back Seamus and his wives um, in yet another series somewhere down the road. I don't have any need to do that. No, it's the same headset I've had. It's the second headset of the same type I've had this way. I have another headset that's covers both ears for when I'm doing audio proofing, so I can hear things cleaner and easier. The problem with wireless is sometimes it drops connection here or there. So I have a wired double headset for when I'm doing audio proofing, but otherwise, this is the Sennheiser one ear is the one I stick with for most things. This way, when my girlfriends need me and they yell my name, I can hear them. Because I try to at least be cognizant of the other people that I care about who are in the same house. Do the cats play with the Garfields? One of the cats has tried to eat the whiskers on it. But that was the only time any of the cats I know have been anywhere near them. We did stop the cat from eating the whiskers. We didn't want her to get a contact meth high. So, that is a lot of miles. Vegas to Orlando is 2,308 miles, apparently. The trucker put it into yeah. Well, it's over half. I was rounding. It's been great. I went from Delta World to Alpha World to Aether's Revival. I mean, it just means you joined in a little late, which is great. I mean, it means I have new fans, and I like new fans. I like old fans. I like fans, people. I'll be honest. I'm here because of you, and I appreciate that. 6 years of being a published author is something. Never thought it was going to happen when I published the first book. I was like, really, like, I just want to throw this out there and see if people like it, and here we are. Life can take you different places. It's interesting. So it started with a knitted ogre that looked blue on camera, and now the drugged out Garfield. Yeah, I think it's that one. Yeah, the camera at the time made it pick up blue. You want to grab it? Hand it over. Let's see. Let's see. Does it still look blue? Gotta wait for the camera to catch up to me. Yes. See, blue. I don't know why. It's green, but apparently it's blue. And it's got a tentacle cat in its beard. Yeah, Sammy made that. Those came from Amazon. The curse, those, the meth cats came from Amazon. When is the next recap? Probably here in a couple of minutes, MJ. I'll kick it off in an hour from the start of stream, so about 5-10 minutes. All great series, you have to go backwards. Yeah, you did kind of go. If you went Dungeon Walkers to Alpha World, you kind of had a different take on things. Uh, but see, Gabe, I like legalized explosives. They have a time and place. Xerox, I can almost guarantee 100%. Almost. So I'll give you a 99.99% probability. Dungeon Walkers does not hit $30. So they actually weren't that bad last year, Cernia. They actually put a they had a timeline. If you wanted something published by Christmas, give it to us by X. They'll probably be doing that again this year because they were slamming things through around Thanksgiving to make sure that they could get them out by Christmas. So, is book 4 Dungeon Walker is going to be a longer book? I hope it is, just to get a bit more of the series. I've enjoyed it and all the reference interactions with all 4 characters. Don't know struggles. I haven't written it yet. I will find out, and then you will find out. Evening Lost, welcome in. Uh, have you read any novels recently? I mean, outside of mine, let's see. I read the first book of Grog of the Ebon Blades. I think the book is just called Grog. I think the series is Ebon Blades, which was recommended by a fan with a Discord server who does book reviews, and I can't think at the moment. He said he really enjoyed it, and I picked it up and I read it, and it's different because the main character is a slave, born a slave, basically raised the slave for fighting in the pits. He's a pit fighter. Um, so his mindset is the mindset of the character is perfectly in line with what you would expect from somebody who was raised this way. Um, so it does take a little bit of getting past what you would consider normal ideals of how you would expect people to react to things because it's the way he was raised. He's a slave. He knows he's a slave. He's perfectly fine being a slave. Um, so there is that. Good book. I will end up reading books 2 and 3 eventually. I just don't have a lot of time to read. Another series that the same gentleman introduced me to was Vixen Warbride. And before you all get funny ideas, no, it is not harem. No, it is not explicit. There is a very, very slow burn, like romance angle to it, but the book series basically goes humanity and a race of fox-like people ended up in war, and humanity ends up quote unquote conquering them and then sending people down to their planets to make sure occupation kind of thing is going on, and they're trying to understand each other. These two separate races with completely different languages are trying to understand each other from a communication standpoint, since they don't speak languages that match up. It is a fabulous series. I love it for the fact you have two people with totally different cultures and totally different languages trying to understand each other while seeing things through their own lens, while trying to see things through their lens. Great series, Vixen Warbride. I enjoyed everything that's been written so far. I hope there's another book of it released in the next couple of months. Um, those that book though, the Vixen Warbride series, I could definitely say worth the read as long as you know what you're getting into. Don't expect my books and you'll be fine. What's in the mug tonight? Well, this was coffee. It's empty now. Now I'll be on to my water because water. So answers the novels I've read. There's been other stuff too, but um, I've enjoyed both of those books. I can't think of anything else right off the top of my head though. Have you ever thought about doing a superhero book? Yeah. I've thought about doing an actual like the world goes through a massive change apocalypse esque setting book too. I might get to them eventually. Oh, the mighty dragon dinosaur. He was asked for. You have lizard butt. Lizard butt. Go ahead. Take off. Run up the arm. You want to go say hi to your fans? You want to go say hi to your adoring fans? Go on. Go ahead. Come on, Ig. There you go. Run for freedom. Run for freedom. That's about the massive sprint I expect out of you. You you have one foot still on my other hand, sir. Can you take one more? Yeah, yeah. There you go. Okay, here you go. We're gonna hand him back off. Okay. Uh, we did have a request for the mighty dragon dinosaur. He has shown up. So yeah, I've considered superhero book and other series. Like I said, I got dozens of ideas. It's just a matter of I'm trying to stay with a 4 book rotation. So I figured he would get a summons of each element or be able to copy each summons like his dad and give them all other elements that he has not used that. I mean, if the series went long enough, who knows, Cheddar? Um, it's probably we're probably never going to see what could have been. We're going to end up with what is. Kind of like life. You make plans and then other things happen. We had 52 people briefly. Well, we're still down to 42, so we at least still have the answer. I got Shuriken connector equals duct tape. I mean, yeah, if you wanted to hack it. What's your favorite ride at Disneyland? I don't know if I really have a favorite. Some there's some decent ones. Space Mountain's always a blast. I mean, because of how dark it is. Um, can't really say I have a favorite ride though. The Ferris wheel with swinging carriages was amazing though. Watching my girlfriend's face when it did the first real swing was priceless. My best memory out of Disneyland this trip. Oh my fucking god, what the hell? Mistakes were made. She didn't expect it to tip quite so much. Well, I mean, I thought it was freaking hilarious and was expecting it. It still tipped a little more than I was expecting, but I wasn't as shocked about it. I was laughing probably for a good minute, 2 minutes afterwards, as she was still coping with it. So I said laughing, not giggling. Can you tell us a bit, Ale? Can I tell you about Ale? I might. Let's recap though. It's been an hour since stream started. We had those people who showed up a little late, and so let's go through the recap. Binding Words 9, of course, I'm wearing the shirt. Came out not even a month ago. Doing good. Nice to see people really still enjoying Binding Words. 9 books in. It was a fun book to write. More setup. We get to see a little. We get to see a little glimpse of Sean actually moving on things. Um, Fun. It sets up a lot for what should be coming. Um, so I'm glad that those who've read it have enjoyed it. Those who are waiting for audio, I'm trying not to spoil things. Next book up, as you can see from the bottom corner over there, December 17th. Currently, we'll probably get it out before then, guys. I try to push out and then deliver early, and this way I never deliver late to you guys if possible. Um, Aether's Revival 6, Magi Guard. I did chop the names off of that so that it would fit. Magi's Guard is the book. It's going to follow Greg in his initiate year while he's training with his Magi. Words are hard. Words are hard. When he's training with his troops to get ready for his adept posting. And then the book to follow that is going to be Antecedents Legacy 1. The title of that book is going to be Antecedents Legacy. I have found that people have trouble sometimes, like the fact that Binding Words, some people refer to it as Morgan's Bidding, which was just the first book of the series of Binding Words. So I'm going to go ahead and make Antecedents Legacy Book 1 called Antecedents Legacy. This way it matches up. Hopefully there will be less confusion. That will be what follows AR6. Then I will get to Dungeon Walkers 4, where I will soft end Dungeon Walkers. I have a soft ending in mind, and I can very easily get to it. And even though it'll lose me money probably, or come very close to it, it'll give a nice soft ending, and I will be much happier giving that kind of an ending than just being like, yeah, sorry, can't do it. And I want to do Antecedents Legacy first, so I have a really good idea of whether or not that series is going to have legs, or whether it's going to Resurrection Quest plummet on me. Hopefully, it does really well because I have a lot of things I really want to do with the science fiction fantasy setting. And then the audio stuff, as you can see there are 4 listed. We will definitely get AR6 added onto that before the end of the year as well. So there will be 5 books for Andy to get to by the end of the year, and which she will be starting on all of them by the end. She'll be starting on that list by the end of the month, and then she will have basically all of November, December to get through the 5 books. And with as fast as she goes through my books, because my books read fairly smoothly for her, we should have everything caught up by the end of the year. That is the hope. We're pretty optimistic about it. So that is our recap. Nice little recap there. Antecedents Legacy is my science fiction series. I call it science fiction fantasy or sci-fantasy because it is going to have non-human races in it. It is going to have races of myth. It is going to have vampires. It's going to have a slime. It's going to have Rakshasa. It's going to have a succubus. It's going to have a Lamia. It's going to have an elf. It is a lot of mythological races that you're going to end up seeing. Nanotech is a thing. Artificial intelligence is a thing. Ships in space. It's a thing. There are no Muppets in space. So we're not going to end up with Muppets in space. And there is no history of the world. So we're not going to end up with Jews in space. I also would like to not get sued by Mel Brooks. So, it's going to follow the main character. I had briefly, a while ago, I think I had the first chapter or 2 of it up on Patreon. Back when I wrote the first chapter or 2, like, I don't even know what, half a year or more ago. You cannot find them now. They've been pulled off of Patreon. They will go back up when the book goes up for regular chapter previews, with a little bit of tweaking here and a much cleaner edit path on them by then. I wrote the first book in my free time, the little bit of free time I have, where I would be reading or playing a video game. Those kind of moments. That is where the first book, I pushed it in between my normal schedule during my free time, the time I give myself to relax, because it was something I really wanted to write. So it is written. It is going to go through editing. Um, I really hope you guys enjoy it. We will find out. Mecha do have a place in the series. Don't expect to see a lot of mass mecha battles right away, though. It's gonna follow my normal progression. So it's probably gonna be a little slower than most people think about. Um, it's gonna follow the main character, name is Xander. I think that's about enough for right now. I think that gives you a little something to chew on, to look forward to. Nobody came out to see me at Disneyland, Xerox. Uh, where was I? I answered that question, MJ, so we're good there. Do you have a collecting of items? Do you allow fans to send you items they make for you? I have a post office box, CB or SB, SB, SBBS. I'll call you B. B. I have a post office box. It is post office box 4242, Pahrump, Nevada 89041. Address it to Shinhofen Books. I do have a post office box for those people who, for whatever reason, decide they want to send me things. I would like it if you would tell me you've sent me something, because otherwise I don't get around to checking the box with any kind of regularity. Um, I don't really collect things though. I'm not a knick-knacky person. Um, I am a very functional individual. If I have an item, normally there's a purpose and a function for it. Um, so I normally have a, if I haven't used it in a year, I'm probably not going to use it, and I will end up giving it away to somebody else. So so you're aware, so you don't think, oh, I should totally get this and give it to them. I'm really not a knick-knacky person. Storm's messing with my signal. Thank you for coming, Too Tall. You stay safe out there, man. What is one of your bucket list vacations you would like to go do? There are a couple places in Europe I'd like to visit. I'd like to see some of the older castles around like Germany. I definitely want to go visit Ireland at some point. Um, I don't really have like a, this is the one thing I really want to go do before I die though. Those are some vacation places outside of the U.S. I would like to go, which I've finally got a passport. So sometime in the next couple of years, I might see about trying to do one of those. I would probably set it up with some kind of conference somewhere, so it could be a work trip. So, because gotta try to maximize things when you can. Did you read Edgar Rice Burroughs? Yeah, I read the Princess of Mars series. I was 11, 12 maybe, somewhere around in there. Dad had the books, so I read those. The first eight-ish of them, because I know there's a lot. I want to say I read like the first 5 to 8 of them, but I couldn't tell you. It was a long time ago. We did name our. Uh, I remember Tamar mom that committed suicide by falling into the toilet, if I remember right. But yes, I remember the fact that you got that the parakeet would get on the D&D table and try to run off with your figurines. Because you've told that story. I don't remember it myself. I remember you telling me the story, though. Uh, when I post stuff on the group, I try to post stuff to make people laugh. The last one was the Swedish Chef. Um, no, the Swedish Chef launching itself at one of the orcs from Star Wars, if I remember right. One of the Star Wars pig boys. Uh, I can't wait to see giant mechs in your new book. No problem. You're gone by now, Blitz. I know that, but thank you for coming. No Space Wizard struggles. I would like to not get sued out of into oblivion by well-known franchises that have way more money and can do so. If you throw an incendiary grenade, it's like throwing a fireball. I mean, yeah, we have to go with the well-known statement that sufficiently advanced technology can be considered magic, and of course, sufficiently advanced magic can be considered technology. So, have the stand, have the space wizard stand on the hull and cast magic missile. I mean, you just have to be careful you're not going up against the wrong things, otherwise they'll cast harpoon, and then you have to, clean all the blood out of the wash. I mean, it kind of is, but it's what they wanted. So I mean, they got what they wanted in life. They got kids, outlaw. If that's what Seamus and his wives wanted, they wanted to be able to have a good family life. Seamus, shameless, shameless and his wives. I mean, it kind of is shameless. I mean, if you think about it, people are still seeing that the creepy Garfields are multiplying. That is amazing. If the cats won't go near the Garfields, do they? Um, they don't use the cat. They don't use the. They haven't used the cat tree as much. We still have one cat who loves it, but but they don't. They're not like out and about at this time. If they're playing chasey through the house, one of them will normally hit it hard enough to rock it slightly, but that's about it. Uh, are you here for OnlyFans? I am here for OnlyFans. I mean, and if you want direct messages in your inbox, I'm sure we could work something out for a PvP exchange. What? No? Oh, okay. Never mind. Ah, yep. Still looks blue. Shows green. Well, it was green on David's screen. It was blue on my screen. It looks light blue. So depending on the screen, for some it was green, for some it was blue. I've noticed your eyes doing the spice effect from the original Dune. Well, I mean, I have like blue green eyes, so sometimes they're green, sometimes they're blue. They're just eyes. Eyes of the Overlord. They're upon you. Oh, look at that. Sammy's bringing out the banhammer on people. Need to run. It was a short night last night, and I'm already getting tired. No problem, Chopper. Thanks for coming in for even at least a little while. What are you doing? What were you doing when you made the choice to try publishing a book? And when did you drop other jobs to be a full-time author? Um, What was I doing? I was a detention technician. I was doing paperwork in the county jail. Um, in for the town I live in, for the county I live in. Um, that is that was my job at the time when I was writing and published Last Horizons beta. It was right around Alpha World 4, playing for keeps, when I was looking at what I made for the book. And I went, huh, I might be able to make this a job. I might, I could make enough money off of just writing books to make it a job. I could do it full time. And I brought the idea to my girlfriend, and she said we have to have 6 months worth of bills put aside just in case things go horribly wrong and it all falls apart, and you have to go find a job again. So we did. We put the nest egg to the side, and I took a step off of Plank away from a nice cushy county government job that they would have needed a hammer, crowbar, and chisel to get me out of. Because it's really just really hard to get rid of public employees. And I stepped away from that after 5 years to become a full time author. The meth cats are moving. I don't know if you're afraid. I'm afraid. Um, so that is what I was doing at the time. That was that was once again that was basically eating all the free time outside of work and everything else to write. And then I had the book written like a year before it published. And my girlfriend, uh, who had never worked on trying to edit something before, was kind enough to attempt to edit with for me. And after a year of back and forth, what about this, what about that, we just put it out because it was only going to get so good. We have to release it someday. So we finally put it out October 3rd, 2016. And it was like, well, I hope somebody enjoys reading it as much as I enjoyed writing it. And it takes 60 days, the end of the month following. So I got the first check from Last Horizons beta at the end of December of 2016. And that was, wow, I made what? I mean, car payment, or more, basically car payment, mortgage money kind of thing. Wow, that's amazing. I had already written basically the second book, and it was going through the slow editing process at that point. And we put Last Horizons live out, and it didn't do as good. And it was like, well, I can at least I can make this the thing I do on the side because I really enjoy writing still. I really enjoy writing. And then I got around to writing the first Alpha World, and that completely eclipsed Last Horizon. And like I said, by the time Alpha World 4 came around, it was like, okay, well, maybe I can make this a full time job. And that is 4 years now. Yeah, I want to say it was 4 years. Because that was back when I was doing like 3 4 months between books. Because I was working full time and trying to get writing done on the side and everything else. Yeah, It was Alpha World and AG 2. They were yeah, they were close. I think it was AG 4 is when I wrote AG Alpha World 4 is when I wrote AG 1, somewhere right around there. So now I can't get the picture. Now I can't get the picture of Daniel being a reporter now, since he is just reporting what the characters are doing. He needs to work on a newscaster voice. I probably also need like the fedora hat with the press card stuck in it. Do the old Clark Kent disguise. That'd actually be a decent cosplay for like Dragon Con. Book reporter. Uh, Daniel's more Daniel's more a chronicler than a newscaster. I mean, that's fair, Gabe. I mean, it depends on how you want to look at things, but yeah, I think chronicler would be a way to look at it. Yeah, I didn't. I don't think I had a whole lot of water last time, Xerox. I'm not going to be an archivist. I don't. I don't spell well enough. My editors will agree with me. Uh, I'm pretty sure somebody. Yep, Leopard Gecko. Sammy did answer the what kind of dragon is it? The size of his hoard is probably a single coin. Uh, he's fabulous. He's a fairy dragon. He's fabulous. Hey, Yakban. Did we find out what AL stands for? You answered him? Okay. Okay. Uh, wow, recap time. So yeah, I'm like 20 minutes behind. So that's the thing. That's kind of normal, honestly. Magic is just science we don't understand yet. Arthur C. Clarke. Yes, but sufficiently advanced magic is science. Sufficiently advanced science can be magic. How hard did she slap you when you were she didn't, Trucker. My girlfriend didn't slap me. She just looked at me with really wide eyes as it kept swinging. I actually have a small video. It's posted up. I think it's at least on Discord. I might have posted it on Facebook too. Of like it's like a minute after the first swing where she's still trying to cope with the recovery of it. And I did get her approval before I posted it because you should do these kinds of things if you are a nice individual. So you've had Alpha World, you've had Aether's Revival, and now you will have Antecedent's Legacy. You've also had Apocalypse Gates. I had a lot of series that start with an A. In Dungeon Walkers 4, will the Travelers arrive? Can't say. Haven't written it yet. Until I write it, it's open for interpretation. Uh, do we know yet if Andy is planning on narrating Antecedent's Legacy? Serenia, she did tell me that she would be up for doing the series. Um, so I do have a verbal yes from her. Depending on, like I said, if the book gets put out around where it says it's going to be put out currently, or even slightly before that, she would be working through the Wandering Inn book. Um, because that's going to be basically all of January for her is one of the Wandering Inns. So, um, it would the audio for that would probably be after January sometime, probably, probably. But yeah, she did give me verbal confirmation that yes, she would be willing to take on Antecedent's Legacy for me. Well, yeah, sometime during the next week to 2 weeks through the end of the year, yeah, she's got to be doing all the recording of my stuff. So for those people who want to be on her Discord to listen to her live record them, you're gonna have like 2 months of solid Shinhofen there. So jump on it.
Any plans for the gods to return, or at least Morgan's for Binding Words? I mean, it depends on where you are, Gabe. Did you read book 9? If you read book 9, you kind of have an answer to that. If you haven't and you're waiting for audio, then I don't want to say anything. No, she'll go down this order. The order that's posted here. Binding Words 8, AR5, LV5, Binding Words 9, AR6. That is the order she will go in them. That she will record them in. We are trying to stay on schedule of how the books came out. We jumped around twice, and I'm trying to stop that from happening again. Do we have particle cannons on the mecha? No, no, Paul. You're gonna have to wait, and you guys are gonna have to wait for the series. I'm not gonna give you anything more on it. You're gonna have to wait for books. There are going to be weapon systems. That is what I will give you. If you could pull it off, would you do an author's Tuesday night game, kind of like your BattleTech? I'm not. You're gonna have to clarify. You're gonna have to clarify that, Outlaw. You're gonna have to give me a little more on what you mean by author's Tuesday night game night. So clarify what you're asking. Can Xander be a Jew just because, or can I at least think of him that way till your audiobook comes out? Xerox, you can think of him however you want. Until it's written down and out there for public consumption, everything is up for interpretation. Until I put it down on paper and you have it in your hands, you have the book to read yourself. Unless it is written down and in such a fashion, it is open for interpretation. Is there going to be a Skippy in AL1? Sorry, Mom. I can't I can't spoil things for you, Mom. You're gonna have to wait and see. What series doesn't have a Skippy? Last Horizons. That was before the bane of Skippy started, because Skippy started with Alpha World. I think we've covered a Skippy everywhere else. I'm actually not positive I had a Skippy in Resurrection Quest now. I might not have had a Skippy in Resurrection Quest. I might have had 2 series without a Skippy. I don't know. I probably would have had a Skippy in Resurrection Quest if I didn't have one. I would have to go back and look, honestly. You don't have a room in your. No, I live in a manufactured home, Xerox. I do not have a special. I don't have a room set aside just for things. Eventually, when I get my house built on my property, I will have an office, like my space, like man cave office, where I will be able to have all the things that I want. But this house just doesn't have room. So, any panels or shared broadcasts possible, like seeing the group interaction or authors even any panels or shared broadcasts possible? Um, I mean, maybe I could talk to Andy about maybe doing a split talk talkie with me, especially like coming up on the end of the year when she's recording everything. Hmm. I'll have to mention it to her and see what could happen, because that would be a good time for it when she's neck deep in all my books. Where this way she can cuss me out on for everyone to see, because I've made Ven and Ven and Ryan and those things that my editors do their best to stop me from doing anymore. Oh yes, I did get one thing recently. Hang on, I got it because they asked if I liked peanuts. I did have a fan who sent me a gift. It is for next year. It is oh that's not good. It is a peanuts calendar. So it is just the dates and characters of things. But small little desk calendar. It is currently on top of my tower because it is a couple of months away from being useful. But it is there. It'll come down to my actual desktop once the year starts. So, but in the meantime, it's sitting on top of my tower. Uh, gotta be a fun. It's gotta be a fun game of playing Spot the Skippy. I mean, I think it's a game that most people enjoy. Yes, go to Europe. The research part of the trip for AG Book 9. I mean, if I get back to Apocalypse Gate Xerox, I would have to make a couple of trips. So I would probably make one really long trip and just hit places. But that's not like again. Once again, I need to be able to not have so many things that have to get paid. So no worries. I'm my eyes are terrible. I can't see if that says turning or tuning. Turning pens. So you're making what, like old fashioned ink pens, like Dippany ink pens? Because because I would need clarification. Uh, I read I want to say like the first two or three books of the Gore series. Yeah. Once again, I think I was like 13 at the time. Might explain a few things. Um, yeah, it's been ages, but I never read through all of the Gore series. I know that for a fact. I want to say I read like the first two, maybe three, and that was it. Well, you made it, Sham. Welcome in. Look at that. More messages being blocked. Don't bot people. The ban hammer's out there. Okay. I would tend to agree, except for the fact they gave Sean their divine sparks. Ah, you guys are debating gods and binding words. That's fine. Have you ever read the Galactic Mage books? I don't believe so, Xerox. It doesn't sound familiar. If I have, I don't remember them. I can say that. Just want to say I love the latest Binding Words. Really felt like they were finally done playing catch up and actually getting a handle on things. Well, thank you, Sham. I appreciate that. And don't take it badly that I've chopped your name down to just Sham. It just it just is. It's just so much easier than trying to get the whole thing out. One of the Garfields is staring at us. Oh, that must have been before they took him away. Coming, take us away, haha, to the funny farm. Gotta run. No problem, Dave. Thanks for coming in for at least a little while. I am only 20 minutes behind, so you're totally not here anymore, but that's fine, right? Are you sure it's the cat's rocking it, not Methought Garfield? Yeah, because Garfield doesn't live on the cat tree. Like, the girlfriend put them on the cat tree just for y'all. So the curse could continue for more people. Uh, Also currently drinking Dr. Pepper cream soda. Wait, that's a thing? Dr. Pepper made a cream soda? What? Uh, I didn't. I didn't know that was a thing. I'll stick to good old fashioned A&W cream soda. Thanks. I used to love IBC, but they changed their formula like I don't even know, like 7, 8 years ago now, and they lost me. The flavor change was jarring. So I stick with A&W cream soda now if I want a cream soda. Whaler's Vanilla Rum and A&W cream soda. Oh, so much vanilla. You don't taste any of the alcohol. All you taste is a lot of vanilla. It's amazing. I will take my mother's word for it. She had to use the catchpole to get them out of screen for her own safety. I mean, I don't blame her. If you're gonna hook the Garfield, hook it at a distance. I appreciate that, Buck. Alpha World was what really got me started. Honestly, I mean, Last Horizons were the first book I wrote, but it was the receptions to Alpha World that really helped push me to where we are now. Uh, you have said that you asked some of the guards at the jail you worked with for ideas. I'll do an inmate like Seamus did. Did any of them read the books that you know of? No, I am fairly certain none of the people. Hang on. No one but one person I used to work with has read my books, and that's because I gave him a couple of the audiobooks because he doesn't read. Dyslexia is a bitch. So I know he's at least listened to some of them. Of course, he games with me still, so he's a friend. He was a coworker, then he was a friend. Um, the old guards, though, no, I don't think any of them have. If any of them did, they never mentioned it to me. Uh, I forgot how many. I forget how many girls Alvin Leon Lambert was allowed to have. There was a cap that was set. The system changed a lot. One of the things I really loved about AG, and it's something people complained about, which I was surprising. A game in development changes all the fucking time. I liked the fact that it was actually addressed in my series, because anybody who's ever played a game knows that things change, things get patched, things get added, things get changed all the damn time. I was very happy about that aspect of it. Other people weren't because they felt like it had devalued things. I thought it was a wonderful addition myself. It's okay, Buck. I only made it through book one of The Wandering Inn myself. Neither of the main characters really spoke to me as an individual. One was completely antisocial. I didn't think she had any redeeming qualities, honestly. And the other one made enough mistakes that I couldn't continue with her. And if you've read the books, you know who I'm talking about in both of those cases. Uh, Binding Words 9 was awesome. Hey, Draft, thank you for coming in. I appreciate that. The PPC, massive cooldown. No, particle cannons didn't have massive cooldowns. They just spiked heat a lot. Um, you just had to balance your heat when you're playing BattleTech is all. If you can balance your heat, you were fine. A lot of the base mecha, if you're taking them straight out of the books, had heat issues, It was a known thing. You were not supposed to fire. You were not supposed to alpha strike all your weapons in the game. It's one of the reasons they had different ranges on them. Things were better at different ranges. Um, it's one of the reasons I like BattleTech. I like building my own mechs though, because I like building. I liked the building of mechs for specific purposes. I liked specialization for my mecha. I liked the fact that this was a long range mech. This mech, if it got in close, you were probably going to get shredded in round. I liked that concept in BattleTech, but very few of the mechs straight out of the book were specialized in that way. They were mostly good at this, terrible at that, um, but not really great at any one thing. For those of us doing audiobooks, you're welcome, Kiffy. Kiffy. It's like kitty. Kiffy. Uh, let's go in there to bed. No problem, Chucker. Thanks for coming in. Should be. It should be 100% legal to kick someone in the genitals for intentional spoilers. I mean, depending on who they are, you probably get away with it. I have punched friends before for it, but they're friends. They're not just a random person. No, all my composing is on the computer. And it all spills out of my head as I roll my face back and forth across the keyboard. It comes out of the ears, so it works out well. Uh, RQ didn't go long enough, Buck, because the first book was so abysmal in sales that I couldn't justify even attempting to write a second one. So yeah. Uh, you think of the lead thug in Last Horizons as Skippy? I mean, fair. Maybe that was his real name, not his character name, because it wasn't his character name. I know that. No, I've never written anyone in my books as revenge. Uh, you are not in your office now. That's not your space. I mean, this is the office. All of us share this space. I don't have a personal office. Andy equals damn it, Daniel. I mean, I do get those out of her with alarming frequency when she does my books. It's nice. Agree to bring all the team on for a joint podcast, that would be difficult. So, some of the people who work with me would prefer not to be on camera. So I am not going to attempt to do so. I joined late. Is AL the Mecha series that we got a small teaser of previously? It is Draft. They have pen kits where you make the barrel out of the material of your choice. Oh, interesting. I had no idea. I did not know that was a thing. Is it wood then, or what is the material made out of? Because now I'm curious. Let me get. Did a series end that I wasn't? Dungeon Walkers is ending draft. Uh-oh. Oh, just a slow pause. Okay. Um, Currently making fountain, ballpoint pens, and mechanical pencils. Oh, okay, no problem. I will do my best to pay attention. I mean, not tonight, because after this, I'm probably gonna go crash into a crater, because that's what happens after I do live chats. Uh, okay, so there's the soda comments. Wood, stone, and resin. Interesting. Yeah, I'll definitely look at Discord later for that. Same with. Now they just taste weird. Fair enough, Shadow. People that companies are always tinkering with products, and I'm like, you know, maybe they found out that people are no longer enjoying the flavor. I don't know, but it's a shock when it's something you enjoy that gets changed into something you don't. I know that. Other people agree that Butterfingers ruined themselves and they changed their recipe. Uh, I've been I've been sampling red cream soda lately. My favorite is Dublin, Texas red cream soda. Interesting. Uh, the latest chapter I saw was 14 in his harem with a cap at 15 permanent in the vase. Oh, you guys are talking about AG still. Okay. Next time, yes, cat. Hit that chair and spun it right round, baby, right round. You gonna bring the cat over to chat? I think she gotta be back here. What's the chair moving for? It's okay, Rug. There, we have put a cat on stream. Our number should go well up now. There you go. Spin you right round. Where was I? The devs fixing things in AG was something I loved, both because it was highly realistic, because it was just something utterly over the top without anyone wondering what the new default answer to problems. I mean, it was something I thought of originally when I got started on the series. If it's a game that's being made by a company that doesn't know what the fuck it's doing because it's doing testing for something else, there'd be a lot of shit that'd be broken that they'd be trying to fix. And then they'd get people who kind of know what they're doing to get involved, try to fix it, and so on and so forth. That was always something that was going up. She left. Chair was away. It was always something that was in my head when I made the series to start with. I mean, yeah, they can be, but if you and the opposing force are both doing so, then you're just setting up basically who's building the better machine and who can pilot their machines better, and that's fine then, because then it comes down to the chess game of I know what you like, you know what I like. How do we negate each other's strengths while retaining our strengths? I enjoyed that. Yeah, the ER lasers. The ER PPC was dangerous. Of course, you traded that off with heats, unless you were running clan. Clan was overpowered. Clan weaponry, ton for ton, hands down, way overpowered. Uh, Re-release Resurrection Quest and see how it does. I mean, it's still out there. You can still get it. I don't want to re-release a book because to me that would just trick people who've already like read it, and then it would create a lot of bad feelings. I mean, it's there for people who want to dig through my catalog, but I'm not going to be like, this is totally a book that you should read. It's because it's been out for years now. Uh, I didn't go long enough to get a Skippy. I preferred using LRMs to stagger and knock people over. I mean, in the computer game, LRMs did that greatly. In tabletop, it was easier to hit them with other weapons that would do the same thing. Hey, JPEZ, glad you could make it. PPCs still have a minimum range, Evangel, unless you're doing ER PPCs or Snubnose PPCs. What? Good God, that was a lot of things.
I didn't mean to. It was an accident. I accidentally banned Xerox, but I hit the button as his comment popped up.
No,
I apologized.
that's fine. I was just seeing the 26 messages deleted.
I didn't mean to.
Woof. I mean,
I was trying to ban somebody else.
Xerox, what did you do, Xerox? What did you do?
Nothing this time.
Wow. I mean, I think I caught up to you guys. Gasp. I think I caught up to all you guys' comments. Wow. I mean, it happens so infrequently. I don't know what to think. Uh, where was I? Battletech clans are supposed to be OP in the novels, at least. I mean, I haven't actually read any of the novels for Battletech, honestly. So, the Mad Cat Mark II. If there's anything that could take out an equal tonnage Savannah Masters 5-ton hover tank with a medium laser and insane speed. I mean, yeah, you just got to get it in the right spot. I mean, there are lots of fast moving single gun mechs, and if I build a 100-ton mech, yeah, you'll hit me with your one laser every round, and it'll be really hard for me to hit you. But if I hit you once, you're done. So, share it in the comments. We were ahead until comments got deleted. Oh, but see, Evangel, if you're going to do that, then I'm just bringing a mech that's got what is that? Thunder LRMs, and I'm just going to mine the battlefield, and then it doesn't matter. You're going to blow up. Anyways, I have caught up to y'all. We're here almost for 2 hours now, so I'm going to go ahead and recap things, and then we'll see how far ahead you guys get by then. So let me scroll that up just a minute. Struggles, you have a good night. So Binding Words 9 has been out for not quite a month yet. Doing well. I'm glad to see that everyone still enjoying the Sean's story as he deals with a Fey world. It's very gratifying to know that the series has this kind of longevity and you guys are still enjoying it. The next book up, which is currently getting preview chapters on Patreons, is Aether Survival 6, Magi's Guard is the name of the book. It is going to encompass all of the initiate year for Gregory. So it'll be everything from the end of Boltune up to him going off to his adept posting. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. It does mean a lot more compression, a lot more time skips, because of the length of time. But it's mostly the time skips are, and they did this training for X amount of time. Things I feel okay skipping over. That is the next book out. Following that is going to be Antecedents Legacy. It's going to be the first book of the sci-fantasy series. It is going to have races of myth like elves and vampires and succubi and slimes, and it is going to have ships in space and mecha. So it is my sci-fantasy series. After that will come Dungeon Walkers 4, which will soft close Dungeon Walkers out. Audio-wise, we should be getting every book published by the end of the year. It should be 5 of them: Binding Words 8 and 9, AR 5 and 6, and LV 5. Should hopefully should be gotten recorded by Andy, and that English is bad. I apologize. By the end of the year, we will see. We are optimistic about it, but we will see what happens. I think that pretty much catches us up again. on everything. So, do I have any other questions from you guys before we, I guess, call it a night? Because um, we've been going for 2 hours and I've caught up on all of you. I mean, so I have not written any dragons in yet at this point, Evangel. So, well, I mean, I continue to when I find an quote unquote auto win for the game, I find a strategy that works. I have a tendency to play it a little while longer just to enjoy the fact that I finally found the the strategy that works. So because it's nice being able to then go back and raffle stomp things that have hurt you for the longest time. DJ, I've been sitting here giggling like a little girl. Combination of the way you're sitting and the camera cutting things off so only part of your shirt I can see is bindings. I mean, well, it's on brand for me then, right? It's because I want the Shinhofen book sign that Sammy made for me to be visible. So the camera is tilted up enough where that is visible, which means that when I'm sitting normally, that's all you can see. So, but I'm glad that you at least had fun during it because you got to see a lot of binding. Well, I mean, I am a pervert, Giffy. It's fine. Uh, there'll be a Okay, so we are caught up. Saggy Muffler, you're welcome. Thank you for being a fan. Um, so for everyone else, thank you for coming to the October live chat. We will of course be back in November, maybe with updates on things and how things are going then, of course, and then more loot as well. Sammy has taken names down of people who have helped prolong the live chat, comments and questions that I answered. And I will be going through and picking winners and messaging them here on Twitch probably tomorrow because I am going to go crater because my introverted nature has finally caught up to me again. So thank you all for coming. I hope to see you guys next month. Until then, stay safe because the world is still the world. Talk to you guys later. Bye.